I, 50 female, have a son, 23, expecting a child with a young lady, 18. The issue is that he doesn't know the young lady very well and is not interested in speaking to her at the moment. So we have a paternity test scheduled pretty soon so we can know before the baby's born. Although my son is not interested in speaking to her, I'm sure he'll make a great father as he'll warm up to the reality as time passes. I met this young lady only a few weeks ago. She's 3 months along. She had no interest in getting prenatal care, so I've scheduled an appointment for her. I offered her a ride, and she made an excuse as to why she couldn't go. I called her yesterday, and she said she was having pain, so I insisted she go to the hospital. She didn't want to go and said it was no longer bothering her, and she didn't want to go without my son. However, I was already on the way, and when I came, she wouldn't come outside, so I left upset. Today she sent me a video of a sonogram and said that the sonogram she sent was from her last appointment a few weeks ago. But I'm thinking, why send it to me now, after all this talking time? And so randomly, so I said to her, "Congrats. Had you texted that you were going to the doctor or whatever you have going on, someone wouldn't have minded being there for you. It's questionable how you are showing this today, when we were only trying to help you yesterday to make sure you and the baby are okay." She felt disrespected and took it that I was saying she was lying about being pregnant. However, I don't care how she takes it because I didn't call her a liar, and I don't know if she is. Am I the idiot for the way I approached her? I feel my message was exceptionally polite. Don't see how I insinuated she was lying about the pregnancy and feel she just took it the wrong way. Edit. I don't know if she's pregnant, but I will do everything I can to push this issue. I have a feeling she won't show up to get the paternity test done. This would prove that she's lying. I have my son's back, and I will protect him at all costs. It was a video of her at the doctor's, and she was recording the sonogram ultrasound from the flat screen in the doctor's office that they were doing on her. So it's not coming up on reverse image or anything. You are the idiot. You're being overbearing and over-involved. There was no reason to send anything other than congratulations. The rest of your message was dripping with attitude and speculation. Don't kid yourself, OP. You knew what you were doing, and she has every right to call you out for implying she was lying. And you know what? She still very well may be lying, but you have no proof. On the chance she's not, why choose to start a relationship with this person who will be the mother of your grandchild this way? You're practically a stranger to her. Maybe she's just not comfortable with going to the doctor with you. You need to let her warm up to you in her own time. Right? If I were the girlfriend, I'd tell OP to lose my number. We have a paternity test booked? Jesus. Also, after saying that it was questionable, OP's claiming she wasn't implying she was lying. Yes, you were. Have the courage of your convictions. You felt disrespected? What did you do to earn this girl's respect? Maybe instead, focus on your 23-year-old impregnating 18-year-olds, then ducking the responsibility of being a parent. Yep, like of course she's being weird with OP. They're trying to get a paternity test and treating her like she's trying to baby trap her deadbeat son. Her son is 23. Why is OP even getting involved? She shouldn't be contacting this young woman at all. The son is to do that. I would not be taking any advice or appointments or going anywhere with this overbearing, judgmental woman. She scheduled the girl's medical appointments without her consent, and after this girl said she couldn't go, she showed up at her house anyway? Focus on what your son isn't doing and stop harassing this young girl. I disagree, not the idiot. I honestly would have doubts that what she sent was her sonogram, just one day after refusing prenatal care. Come on, you can't get an appointment that fast, but you can download something from the internet quickly. If she's lying, the truth will come out. Maybe she doesn't want to deal with the mother of the 23-year-old mama's boy who got someone just out of high school pregnant. OP is being an overbearing weirdo about this and is ensuring that if this is her grandchild, there will be a very poor relationship, if any, between herself and said baby. You don't get to make medical appointments for strangers and force them to go with you. That's crazy town behavior. Background info. My husband loves cooking. He goes all out for dinners. And even his lazy meals can sometimes seem extravagant, so our children have a mature palate. He especially loves when we have guests. That's when he goes all out. He plans his meal in advance and gets extremely excited. My husband and I had dinner with our friends and our kids. My husband made us Arabic salad and garlic bread on the side with mashed potatoes and braised duck served with a sauce. When everyone came, we had 3 parents and 7 children. My husband and I served everyone food, and everyone complimented it, but my husband noticed one of my friends called Melissa's child Danny, young grammar school, not eating, so he asked him if he didn't like the food, and he nodded his head no. Melissa chimed in and said he doesn't have a mature palate, and my husband said, sorry, we have more mashed potatoes. Maybe he can eat it without the sauce. Melissa said he doesn't eat mash. My husband said, fine, I can microwave or make him something quick. Melissa said thank you and told him frozen chicken nuggets would be good. My husband said, oh, we don't eat frozen food, but how about cereal, PB&J, grilled cheese, or leftover spaghetti bolognese? And she said cereal. The next thing that happened was that my husband served the ice cream and carrot cake. Melissa's other son, Rob, pre-tween, said this ice cream was so good. My daughter, preschooler, said, me and my daddy made it. We don't eat the store-bought crap. And everyone laughed. This is my fault. I was mocking my husband earlier, asking him what he was making, and he said ice cream. And I said sarcastically that we're too good for store-bought crap, huh? It was a force of habit. I'm 100% sure she didn't say it with any bad intentions. Yesterday, I received a call from Melissa saying she felt like my husband and I were looking down on her, and Mommy shamed her because we said we don't eat frozen food. I was just about to apologize because I never wanted to make someone feel Mommy shamed until this woman said she felt sorry for my daughter because she could already see my snobbishness and self-centeredness spreading to her because of that comment my daughter made about the crap ice cream. And this is where I draw a line. I told her not to mention my daughter's name when wanting to address me, and that she shouldn't worry about feeling inferior because she would never be invited to my home again. Our friends decided to get involved, and they kept saying that I should apologize because they didn't want to be left in the middle of it, and they felt like I was wrong because I should have known the food was too mature for a kid's palate. I honestly don't care. I have friends outside this friend group and honestly don't mind cutting them off. This might be an exaggerated reaction, but I'm very sensitive about my daughter and want to know if I'm overreacting. If you're fine losing friends because you refuse to acknowledge that your daughter said something rude, fine. It was rude, regardless of whether your daughter understood that it was or not. That means you are the one who should apologize. So yes, I think you are the idiot. It's pretty silly that your husband decided to make all this fancy food, knowing that more kids would be in attendance than adults. LOL, who in their right mind thinks, oh, we're inviting people with children over for dinner. Let's make duck. LOL, I feel like it's totally fair that someone could interpret, we don't eat frozen food, as opposed to, we don't have chicken nuggets, as a dig. Your daughter also sounded like she was repeating something snobby that she had overheard. Your friend is out of line for passing judgment on a little girl, though. I feel like everyone's the idiot here. Duck isn't that fancy. How do kids get a mature palate? By trying new foods. If you only serve them chicken nuggets, then that's what they'll be used to. OP's not the idiot. Melissa stepped way over the line, insulting OP's daughter. OP was already being gracious by offering alternatives. Melissa has adequacy issues and feels bad for feeding her child frozen foods. It bothered her because I'm sure she sat in bed thinking, should I really let my kid eat chicken nuggets for the 20th time this week? Or let him starve? I, 41 female, have 3 sons, twins who are older tweens, and a younger tween. All of my sons started doing chores around 8 and getting allowances at 10 years old. Chores are only mandatory 5 days out of the week. I don't care what time of day they choose to get them done, as long as they're done by the end of the day. I made it clear to my boys once they started earning money that They would be getting $10 a day for every day they complete their chores. If they fail to do so, then $10 would be deducted. It has been that way for 2 years for my eldest boys and a couple of months for the youngest. Allowance is always paid out every Wednesday, and I encourage them to save enough to take with them on the weekend to their dads in case they go somewhere fun or see something cool that they might want, but dad might not be okay with spending money on. This system has worked swimmingly for us since it started. The boys have always complied with completing their chores. However, one of my twins refused to do his chores, sweeping downstairs and wiping down surfaces, for 3 days. The first 2 days, he did so without problem, but when his friend asked him to play Fortnite with him, my son asked for 15 minutes to complete his chore before he got onto the PlayStation. His friend asked what chore he had to do, so my son told him. In response, my son's friend said, "It's a good thing my parents don't make me do girl chores." I spoke with my son and explained to him that knowing how to clean was not specific to any gender, and that it was a life skill that everyone needed to know. I also told him that I understood that other families function differently. However, everyone did an equal share in our family. Even after speaking with him the first day, he decided not to do his chore. He still chose not to do his chores, so as agreed, I took $10 out of his allowance for each day he didn't do it, which allotted him only $20 for his allowance, whereas his brothers had $50. The problem came when my son was so upset about the lack of money in his allowance that he called his dad about it. My ex-husband then contacted me and told me that I was in the wrong for only giving him $20 and to imagine how it made him feel that his brothers got more than he did. I explained to him that our other sons did their chores for all 5 days, so they were rewarded accordingly. I assured him that if he had decided to start giving the boys an allowance, then he could run the allowance however he wanted. But this was ultimately the system I had come up with. My ex-husband told me that I was being insensitive and humiliating our son. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Do the job, get paid. Don't do it, don't get paid. It's pretty simple. You're not taking money out of your son's allowance. You're not paying him for services not rendered. The misogynistic reasons behind completing the chores must be corrected, and that won't happen by rewarding it. Since when does your ex have any precedent over what you do in your house? The system you have is amazing, coming from someone who had to do all my chores for free, and those included much more than just sweeping, LOL. Also, it is good for you to teach your son that there aren't gender-assigned chores. I've always been the one to mow the lawn and yard work, but also to clean up around the house, and I'm a woman. It taught me valuable life skills, which is what you're teaching your son. Right? Tell the son if he thinks they're girl chores, wait until you drop his daily rate to $8.90 a day that he does them to show him what it's like to be paid as a female in this day and age with 89 cents to the male dollar. Haha. And I'd pay closer attention to who your son hangs around with online. Please do not back down and show this to your ex. Your kids have to understand how the world works. There are rules and norms, as well as consequences for not following them. If you teach your son to sit on his butt now, it'll be a nightmare for you in 6 more years. It'll be worse for him as he enters the job market, gets a girlfriend, or has any other responsibility. So background. I dated Max in high school for around a year. My family life was awful, and his parents helped me at the time. After the breakup, they didn't cut me off, even though I know it caused some issues with Max. When I was kicked out at 17, they took me in. Long story short, I see them as my parents, and they see me as their kid. I'm close to their daughters and have been attending family events for a few years. Max is getting married to Cindy. I've met her a few times and I thought she was okay before this. Yesterday I was getting some mac and cheese at the youngest birthday celebration when Cindy asked what I was doing. I told her I was trying to get mac and cheese, and she got angry. She went on a massive tangent about trying to win Max back, and how I'm not part of the family, that I should get my own family since I'm not needed anymore. I told her I was not going anywhere and she needed to live with it. I've been a part of this family for 10 years at this point. She ran off after that, and I'm getting texts from Max that I'm a huge jerk and need to apologize. The rest are staying neutral, and the youngest is annoyed at Cindy. Edit to make it clear, I am a part of the family. I call them mom and dad. They tell me I'm their kid. Their sisters refer to me as their sister. Not all families are born. Not the idiot. I wonder if Max believes you still want him too. It might be worth being blunt. Something along the lines of, all you need to do is reassure Cindy that I don't have ulterior motives. To be clear, I don't know how to say this without it sounding insulting, but I'm not into you like that. I haven't been for a long, long time. We were kids when we were together, and we've both grown up and moved on. None of this is about you or her. She doesn't have to freak out. Unpopular take, I'm sure, but you are the idiot, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't love having the ex-girlfriend around all the time either. And your I'm not going anywhere, I've been here 10 years, sounds crappy. It's like you're taunting her that you're more important, which may not be true. Also, she's not your future sister-in-law. She's your ex's future wife. Prepare yourself because things may change. You say you're not going anywhere, but that's not really your decision. Just wait till Max and Cindy have kids. My friend Ashley got married last night to her longtime partner, Kevin. Kevin's best friend, Frank, is a bit of a prankster, and it's usually all in good fun. Ashley has shared that Frank sometimes goes a little too far to stir the pot, but he promised to be on his best behavior for the wedding. I had agreed to help deal with Ashley's boundary-stomping family and look out for any pranks Frank might pull. Even though we knew he said he'd be good, we know Frank. Ashley and Kevin are big football fans. At one point in the night, they wanted the wedding party to don 49ers jerseys they purchased to get a few photos. Frank is also a football fan, but is diehard for the Chiefs. There's always been some banter back and forth between Ashley and Frank over this. In the beginning, Ashley said he was refusing to wear the jersey she brought. Eventually, he said it was just 5 minutes, so it's no big deal. He did keep cracking jokes that he'd show up in a Chiefs jersey, and Ashley always said with a serious face, "Yeah, no, don't you dare." So I assumed that, hey, he's not wearing it. The time came for the wedding party to wear jerseys over our dresses and suits. The wedding party went upstairs. While waiting with the other bridesmaids, I see Frank come out of the bathroom in a Chiefs jersey. I ask what he's doing. He smirked and said it was all good. I told him to go change. Again, he repeated it was all good, and he had permission. Considering Ashley hadn't told me and it wouldn't be out of Frank's wheelhouse to try to pull one over on me, I said no, she didn't. Why are you trying to cause a problem on her wedding day? That's when Kevin came out of the room where he and Ashley were getting ready and asked what was happening. Frank said, she doesn't believe me. Kevin seemed to have a lightning bulb moment and was like, "Oh yeah, we meant to tell you that Ashley agreed it was fine for him to wear the jersey. They have some cool poses planned." I said, "All right," apologized to Frank for the misunderstanding, and moved on. I think the pictures will turn out great. After Kevin and Ashley left, I stayed behind and helped clean up some stuff. Frank approached me and said I was a drama queen for making a big deal about the jersey. I said I had no clue Ashley gave him permission. Given his history of antagonizing people and playing pranks, it was a fair assumption. He said it was none of my business. I pointed out that I'd been responsible for making sure he didn't pull any pranks, which he knew. Still, he told me that I should have minded my business. We haven't bothered Ashley or Kevin with this, and I have no plans to. However, it got around to some of our friends, and they're split. Some say I was in the right, given Frank's past. Others say I was being controlling and dramatic. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You did what you were told, which was exactly the opposite of minding your business. And you can say to your friends that you were asked to be controlling, and the only drama that was created by Frank. Sigh. No good deed goes unpunished, OP. Exactly. She was specifically asked to mind Frank's business, and he knew this fact. He just doesn't like feeling as if he wasn't trustworthy. Instead of acknowledging to himself that he needs to look at his own pattern of behavior that led to his friends not trusting him, he blamed OP. He's an idiot. I really do not like the Frank characters. They're never that funny and are annoying. I can't understand someone who can show their face proudly when they know they have to be policed so they don't ruin another person's event. That says it all, really.